Okay, so this is video 9. So, if they're going to have a technologically advanced culture in the West, they're going to need the cobalt for the electric cars and all the batteries and all the computers. They're going to need that. And if Africa says no, like they had the oil embargo in the 70s, then America, the West will be, up shit creek without a toilet, right? And that's right back to the Stone Ages, right? So, so they're going to need to have control. They're not going to depend on someone else being in control, right? They want to be in control themselves. So, they're going to need that cobalt. They're going to need those diamonds. They're going to need that gold. They're going to need everything to start all over again, right? And that's their game, right? Total religion, total economic system, and total, control over the natural resources. And for what I understand, they're trying to go under so-called, what do they call it? Climate control, right? Ooh, yeah, we're not done. They're trying to go into climate control and tell them, don't cut your forest down. Think of the climate. Don't drill your oil. Think of the climate. Don't use your coal. Think of the climate. What they're really saying is, don't cut your forest down. Save it for us. Don't use your coal. Save it for us. Don't dig don't cut down the trees. Save it for us. Don't dig your coal. Save it for us. But it's protect the air. No, it's save it for them. That's what it is. They don't give a fuck about no damn climate shit. If they cared about the climate, they wouldn't have done what they did to America. They wouldn't have done what they over-industrialized the whole world, or not the whole world, but at least their aspect of the world, right? Okay, so yeah, so that's what they're planning to do. Okay? Got to be smart. Got to be wise in dealing with the devil. Okay? The main thing about dealing with the devil, you got to know, the first thing the devil wants you to do is use violence. So he will do anything to make you use violence because he knows you're smarter than him. He knows you can outthink him. He knows you're wiser than him. Because you have the DMT. He don't. He's grounded. He knows you can go to the higher consciousness. He can't go to the higher consciousness. He can't go to Allah. He can only go so far. And that's why he tries to get you to use violence. Because the universe is against, violence. The universe, and that's when the person uses violence, they condemn their own soul, right? I mean, of course, sometimes a person has to fight when it's right, but not unjustly, like genocide, So if he can get the person to attack him and fight him unjustly and destroy themselves in the process and not use their mind, he's at the advantage. He feels he's at the advantage because violence is what he does. Violence is what he lives for, right? So I know what's happening in Palestine is horrific, but the faster there's what do they call it? Divestment, sanctions, boycotting, isolating them, to kick the military's industrial complex out of your countries, shut down their embassies, kick their ambassadors out, don't do business with them. That war will end. That genocide will end, right? And the occupation will end. I'm not for the two-state. The occupation stuff has to end. The colony has to be dissolved. Okay? Now, because the colony is just like Jamestown, and it's been said that when, a nation colonizes another nation, its intent is not to end the colony. Its intent is to take over the nation. It's to take the life of the indigenous nation, just like what happened in the West. It was a colony, but it was with the intent to take over the indigenous nation, right? Okay, so I mean, imagine living in a place, let's say Florida, and all these immigrants that come into the West, come into America. They just got together and said, we're going to take over, they're going to take over America, which they're trying to do for the Dixiecrat Party, right? Create stir trouble in America and make you think it's Muslims. It ain't Muslims. Muslims have no reason to do that. They're the ones who everybody's fighting. The Palestinians is the one everybody's fighting for. But we do have to protect our Jewish population. You know, we have to protect them. We have to look out for them and know and keep the word out and let everybody know the occupation in Palestine is not by Jews. It's a Zionist. They are not Jews that are occupying Palestine. They are Zionists, and Zionists are Nazis. And Jews are not Nazis, right? The Jews were persecuted by the Nazis in Germany and enslaved by the Nazis in America, right? So, imagine if these people, and many of them, I won't go there, but, you know, imagine these people that are coming across the border get together and say, we're going to destroy America. We're going to colonize, and we're going to rename it after whatever name we want to choose. We're going to change everything about the country. It's going to represent them, and we're going to genocide the indigenous people of Republic America. Would you not fight back? Yeah, you would. And then what if you fought back and you were called a terrorist, right? For fighting back. Trying to save your family, right? I don't think that would make any difference if you were gaslighted to be a terrorist. I wouldn't stop, right? Because imagine all those people who are, you know, being massacred at this, you know, in Palestine. You know, you think they're going to stop because you call them a terrorist? They know why they're fighting. Allah knows why they're fighting. And America knows why they're fighting too. The government, America, knows why they're fighting. And the American people are waking, you know, are being, you know, like Gen Zers. You know, they too themselves are recognizing, you know, that the truth of what's going on in Palestine, and that is genocide based upon a occupation and a desire to take their land, you know, and ultimately take over the world. Okay, so they want to re-enslave the Zion after they do all, I said, Ukraine and Russia, and try to beat China, because all the West would try to gang up against China, right? In order to take over the world, right? Okay, so after if they were to accomplish that, which they won't, mashallah. But if they were, what would they do? Re-enslave the Hebrew Israelites. And what would they do? I mean, the Hebrew Israelites, what do they have? It said by 2050, you know, Hebrew Israelites in America will be at zero, you know, zero, their economy. Let's say if every community had an economy, right? The Hebrew Israelite community in America, their economy would be at zero, you know, GDP. Okay, if the Hebrew Israelites in America, let's say the Badahai, if their communities were an economy, okay, and their economy was also considered the GDP, right? Their GDP would be at zero. Will be at zero by 2050, and that is what, almost 25 years away, 26 years away, you know. Now, and if America's broke, think about them, the Badahai, right? So that's why reparations is crucial, and you know that's why they were oppressed all that time, because, you know, the reason for their oppression was to take their ancestral heritage, right? Because the ones who are occupying Palestine are not Jews. They are the synagogue of Satan, as spoken of in the Bible, right? So they don't want the DMT melanated Hebrew Israelites um, to step into their, to identify with their ancestral heritage. They don't want that. They want them to be recognized as gang bangers, criminals, felons and drug dealers and anything negative, but a Hebrew Israelite descendant of prophets. They don't want that. They want to be recognized at that, when in reality, they are the synagogue of Satan, are the devils. Okay? Okay. Not the Hebrew Israelites. MashaAllah. Okay, so... they will attempt to re-enslave the DMT melanin richly black Afro-Kemetic Hebrew Israelites, right? All across the world, including the newly born again resurrected corpse Americas. That's what they want. They don't want Republic America to to be born. No, they want corpse America, a dead society that can't think for itself, can't take care of itself, can't do nothing for itself, right? Now, but remain vulnerable to the the synagogue of Satan. Now let's look at something else. Remember how the so-called crack epidemic just mysteriously appeared in the Hebrew Israelite, the Badahai, the communities where predominantly those of Badahai ancestry live, right? Notice how just crack just appeared there, and it's a variation of cocaine, right? From cocaine. And they don't know how to make, they're not chemists, they don't know how to make that stuff, right? From coke to cocaine and all that. No, they don't know how to do that. The Badahai don't know how to do that. But drugs came into the, let's say the Badahai communities after the civil rights movement, right? They came in after that, when the Badahai had an opportunity to go to get better education, buy homes, and have better housing opportunities, and integrate into more expensive communities, that were not the housing was not so dilapidated, right? So drugs came into their community, right? They hold them back, right? And they had, as I said, they had opportunity to go to universities and get their education, right? A greater education, to get better jobs in the society, right? Integrate completely, economically and socially, right? Now, and then the drugs broke up their families even further, right? More incarceration, right? So it was, it was a series of events that caused the breakdown of the Badahai communities. Now let's look at the epidemic fentanyl and all this in the American Europeans community, European Americans community rather. Now we got the fentanyl right before the war, right before the society's getting ready to, the dollar's getting ready to collapse, the economy's getting ready to collapse. They got fentanyl, right? So they can't focus on what's going on, just like they did to the Badahai community. So ask yourself, do they really care about you? Okay. Anybody, black or white, or black or lack, right? Okay. Hebrew or non-Hebrew, that's what we'll call them. Those who are, let's say, of European ants. No, I can't really go there either. Okay. Hebrew Israelite or otherwise, they don't care. Okay, they don't care. Now, now, it is the job of the Ashkenazi, Ukrainian, Nazi Zionists to keep the DMT melanin richly black Hebrew Israelites socio-economically disenfranchised, uneducated, distracted, okay, negative entertainment, hoping that they get attracted to it, broken families, impoverished, right? Keep them busy with guns, gun ideology, gang ideology, mass incarceration, weak, impoverished, and in poor health, or whatever it takes to keep them down by any means necessary and keep them away from associating with their Hebrew Israelite ancestral heritage, right? And as Brezhnev Brzezinski, right, once said, it's been reported, he said, the one of the focus of, let's say, the Ashkenazi government, right, was to the Nazi Zionist government, what a synagogue of Satan, was to keep Hebrew Israelite or Badahai people away from their African ancestors or relatives or families in Africa, Al Kibu land. Okay? Now, okay, we're going to go to video, I think it's 10.